The haunted house that no one escaped. A police officer entered this abandoned house at exactly 3:13 a.m. His body camera recorded everything. The video ended with a horrifying scream, but the officer had completely disappeared. He has never... What happened inside that house? No one lives there, yet every night, lights appear in the windows. People hear children laughing. Doors slam on their own, and every clock found inside the house has stopped at 3:13 a.m.
Everyone in town knows one rule: never enter after sunset. Most people obey it. Some didn't. None of them were ever the same again. The first night, 3 urban explorers decided the stories were fake. They entered with cameras, powerful flashlights, and live streaming equipment. At first, nothing happened. Then, one flashlight suddenly switched off. Another started flickering. Their live stream filled with comments. "Who's standing behind you?" They turned around. No one was there. Seconds later, a loud knock echoed from upstairs. 1, 2, 3 knocks. Then complete silence. The middle twist. The friends slowly climbed the stairs. Every room was empty, until they reached the last bedroom. The door opened by itself. Inside stood an old rocking chair, moving back and forth, back and forth. No wind, no one inside. Suddenly every phone lost signal. One camera kept recording. As they backed away, a dark figure appeared behind the chair, almost 7 feet tall. Its head touched the ceiling. No face, just complete darkness. One friend screamed. The camera fell. When they picked it up, the figure was gone. But one of the 3 friends had vanished. They searched every room, called his name. Nothing. Then, a child's voice whispered from the basement, "Come find me." The basement door slowly opened. Inside were hundreds of old photographs. Every missing visitor was in them, smiling, standing inside the house, including the friend who had disappeared only minutes earlier. But the photo looked decades old. The ending. Terrified, the remaining 2 friends ran toward the front door. It wouldn't open. Every window was sealed shut. Heavy footsteps echoed behind them. Closer, closer, closer. When they finally forced the front door open, only one person came out. The second friend was gone. No scream, no sound, just gone. Police searched the house for weeks. Nothing. The only thing they found was a new photograph lying on the basement floor. It showed both missing friends, standing beside the same tall shadow, smiling. Since that night, no one has dared enter the hollow house again. But if you ever find yourself driving through that forest, and you see a light shining from an empty window, keep driving, because some doors should never be opened. Just when the 2 remaining friends thought they had escaped the worst, they heard a loud bang from the second floor. One of them whispered, "Did you hear that?" Another bang, this time much closer. Their flashlights began flickering again. Then, every door upstairs slammed shut at the exact same moment. The entire house fell silent. No footsteps, no whispers, nothing. The silence was even more terrifying. Slowly, they climbed the stairs once again. As they reached the hallway, they noticed muddy footprints on the wooden floor. The strange part, the footprints suddenly stopped in the middle of the hallway, as if whoever made them had simply vanished. Then a dusty mirror at the end of the hall caught their attention. When they looked into it, they saw themselves, but there was someone else standing behind them, a tall shadow with long arms, slowly raising one hand. The friends instantly turned around. No one. When they looked back at the mirror, the shadow was now much closer. Its face was still hidden in darkness. Suddenly the mirror shattered into hundreds of pieces. A freezing wind rushed through the hallway. One friend screamed as something grabbed his jacket from behind. He pulled free and started running. Both friends rushed toward the staircase. Behind them came the sound of heavy footsteps. Not walking, running, faster, closer, closer. They reached the front door and threw it open. Fresh air, moonlight. They had escaped, or so they thought. The next morning, they checked the camera footage. Everything inside the house had been recorded, except for one terrifying detail. Whenever the shadow appeared, the camera showed only the 2 friends. But a third voice could clearly be heard whispering, "I'm coming home with you." Neither of them ever entered another abandoned house again. Months later, neighbors claimed they sometimes saw a dark figure standing silently outside one of the survivors' bedroom window, watching, waiting, never blinking. If you enjoyed this terrifying story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more true-style horror stories every week. And before you leave, tell me in the comments, if someone offered you $10,000 to spend one night inside this haunted house, would you do it?